Right, I was going to do this in ordinary vision, but the light was blinding my eyes, so what I decided I would pop it over to night vision. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is a few weeks ago, it's about a month ago now, Rachel done her first investigation on her own, and she had somebody with her, and that was Paddy, and it was a great night. Unfortunately, there was some legal misunderstandings, and the footage could not be shown to the public. And I just got a message from Paddy, and Paddy showed me a picture of him watching one of my videos, a photograph and that, and he put some voicemail messages, you know, asking for the opportunity to go out and investigate. And, you know, I'm not going to be the person to kill somebody's dream, you know. That investigation with Rachel was Paddy's first experience of it. You know, he said he was interested, he said he loves all that kind of stuff, you know, and, you know, I've no problem giving Paddy that opportunity. So Paddy, if you're watching, we will sort something out. And, you know, having somebody else along with us, you know, it just adds to the banter, it adds to, you know, it adds to the filming and that, you know, and the fact that somebody that hasn't been investigating before gets an opportunity to experience something they haven't experienced before. You know, when it comes to filming and that, it's always good to have a couple of people with you, because you can run more cameras, you can run more equipment, and, you know, things can flow a lot easier rather than one or two people with a big load of equipment trying to set things up. Now, the last number of weeks, and actually since that investigation that Paddy was on, we have been out a few times, and things are kind of different than they were before. And what I did was I spent some time not watching paranormal content at all, and, you know, watching other things. And when I came back to focusing on the paranormal and starting to go out again, you know, I kind of started on a clean slate where I wasn't influenced by TV productions and other YouTubers who very often copy the same techniques as the TV productions. And, you know, to be honest, some of these TV productions, you know, they may film for a couple of days and then it's all sort of chopped up onto a set amount of time, whether it's a half an hour or an hour, you know. And sometimes that filming can be done over a couple of days. Now, we always have been as raw as possible, and we always, you know, we always want to put out as much of the footage that we film as possible, just in case people see things that we miss. And you know, since we came back to do investigations out, you know, as I said, a lot of things have changed, and one of those things which helped me focus on it you know, being away from paranormal content for a while was, you know, the two most important things of the paranormal. What do you want? Do you want audio and you want visuals? Now, very often when I see, you know, some paranormal YouTubers, you know, very often they focus on themselves, they talk to the camera a lot, missing out on opportunities and stuff. And, you know, other mistakes like long periods of time focusing on a REM bear or a REM pod where you could be moving around and showing every inch of a location that you're investigating in that. You know, after all, audio and visuals is very, very important. And that's why I kind of started off with the forests and stuff. You know, you've lots of places to look at, and you know, it showed me that the camera is extremely important, and that's why I've done a lot of visuals, and it's certainly a lot different than what I you know, previously produced and stuff. When you're part of a ghost hunting team or a paranormal team, each person has a, you know, their own set of skills that is useful within the team, and something that they're one particular aspect of paranormal investigating and ghost hunting that they're particularly interested in. And for me it was spirit boxes and that. And yes, you know, spirit boxes, I love doing them. I have a whole channel dedicated to the spirit box and ITC. But I wanted something different as well, and some of the things I had seen on YouTube is people going to absolutely beautiful locations, setting up their camera and turning on apps and spirit boxes and destroying the natural audio by having a spirit box or an app on almost the whole way through an investigation. You know, so that's why I shortened the spirit box sessions and actually started getting into EVPs and stuff. And because, you know, there is some channels out there that have been explorers. One of those channels was Exploring with Fighters, and there was one thing that he said that, yes, I know he does the random Nautica stuff and stuff, but there was something that he said that sounded really, really genuine. You know, he says, yeah, the paranormal, you know, it exists, and I'm sort of really interested. I bought as much stuff as I possibly can, and yes, the spirit box is great, but I'm really fascinated by EVPs because they have gone into places and they've, you know, they've tried a few things, you know, through and explore. And EVPs is the thing that, you know, he says, you know, yes, the spirit box is great, but things can be mistaken for radio bits and stuff. Yes, they work, I know they work, but for me, EVPs, I like the EVPs. So, you know, and he says, I want to do it right. And hopefully, hopefully he will stay. Yes, I know they have created a job for themselves and they have to entertain and stuff like that. But I hope he really gives it a go, honestly, you know. But it was, that is, you know, what he said made me think, you know, I'm not doing any EVPs. I have loads of EVP recorders, I have loads of voice recorders, and I'm not doing enough EVPs. So I started doing more EVPs. you know. So I kind of got influenced that way. But the reason why the forests were an attraction to me was because of the night vision. If you bring a night vision camera onto some open ground, um, that has a difficulty in itself where the uh, IR light has nothing to bounce off. So you see for about 10 or 20 yards on the ground and everything else is black. With forests, there's always something for the light to bounce off, and that's why I made things easy for myself and started with forests and that. Um, you know, um, if we keep at it, someday we might pick, pick up something on camera itself, and that is the aim of that. But having somebody that wants to be involved in the paranormal and is asking for that opportunity, I'm not going to take that opportunity away from them. So I will be in touch. We will sort something out. The weather isn't brilliant, but we will organise something. We have the added problems that a lot of my previous indoor locations, they've been burnt down or boarded up or renovated. We've got there was a couple of areas in Greencastle. There was that yellow house. It's been, the area has been fenced off and closed. No access to that. Across the road we have the fort, which was part of it was demolished and the other part of it was renovated to a visitor centre. So that's not abandoned anymore. And we've had a school go on fire. We've had a hospital that turned into a school. Most of half it's burnt down. We can't do that. So we're sort of looking for indoor locations, but certainly we're not going to, we're not going to stop investigating because we have a lack of indoor locations. There's always something that you can do outside, but you've got that problem of wind and rain. The weather is a factor, a big factor with that. If we had indoor locations, it's great for nights that it is pouring rain. We have places like Dunry Fort that we could go back to. We done 7 episodes now, but most of those 7 episodes were in the one particular place because we were getting stuff. And we wanted to keep going back there. Unfortunately, it got burnt down. So we can't use that for a long-term sort of experiment. But we will find places that we can do that, But, it's been a very interesting journey. I mean, like, I started off with abandoned exploring, and I got an EVP, in an abandoned location where nobody else was, and the hair stood up on the back of my head when I listened back that night to the audio of the filming that I'd shot. And sort of the reason why I actually was listening back with headphones was, back before I done even YouTube, I was looking at Omar Gosh, and he used to say, if you see or hear anything in the background, leave a comment on that. I know it's a sort of a encouraging people to make comments so that the videos go out, and there's entertainment involved and stuff like that. I'm not going to go into that, but he did encourage me to listen everywhere you go, you know, when you're filming places, to listen very, very carefully, to watch very, very carefully, and that, you know. And I mean, like, the first investigation I done, I actually gate crashed, you know. So thanks to Peninsula Paranormal and Carrickfergus Paranormal for accepting me into their little circle that particular night in Cumber House, where I arrived at the door unannounced with a baby monitor and a voice recorder and a rickety old second-hand camcorder. That's all I had. And once I done that investigation, I was just hooked. You know, the first thing I bought was a K2 meter. The next thing I bought was a PSP 11, and then it just spiraled out of control. You know, I really need an office where I can do my editing and do my EVPs and spirit box work and stuff like that, because I have a lot of equipment, and maybe that is something that will turn into some sort of reality in the coming year. I hope so, you know. But, you know, if Paddy's watching, you know, we will organise a you know, a night that you can go out and you know, and at least you can have a video that you can actually watch on your TV and see yourself on it, and have that experience of equipment and stuff. And I know when Rachel done her investigation, what did I leave her with? I left her with a camera and a voice recorder, and she had her own spirit box, and that is it. There was no REM pods or motion sensors or locked off cameras or anything like that. And when Paddy comes on his first investigation, hopefully I'll have more equipment, you know, for your first investigation. I mean, like, we started using the thermal and stuff like that. These things need to be used, you know. Thermal is very, very expensive, and as bad as my thermal is, you know, it is a Seek, you know, similar to Flare and that, and it was 310 or 315 pounds for that quality and that. So, you know, when it comes to thermal, you know, there is thermal cameras on the market for £100. I wouldn't bother, because I have one myself and it was very, very disappointing. Extremely pixelated. You're not going to pick up an image on it at all. There's no... If you do, it's going to be extremely poor quality in that. Certainly the camera that I have would be at the bottom end. You need the best thermal you can get, but the best thermal you can get is it's thousands, you know, and you know, budgets don't go stretch that far, you know. But you know, you get to use the thermal camera, gets to use full spectrum cameras. Maybe have a camera set up that you can use, you know, EVPs and spirit box and all that kind of stuff, and you know, make it an experience for you that you can remember and that, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. But yeah, I'm going to leave it at this, because I just thought I would come on and sort of... I didn't do a rant in a little while, so I just thought I'd sit here and talk, and Paddy did message me there, asked me to go out and asked me to give him an opportunity to go on an investigation, you know. And you know, he was disappointed that the investigation that he was on could not be published and stuff like that. And I completely understand it, because they spent hours. They spent about 3 hours in that location. I spent I spent a whole day the next day editing bits and pieces and editing out any little bits of hints of the location that it was in, to protect the location and stuff like that. But unfortunately, that wasn't even enough for it to be published and stuff like that. Paddy will get his opportunity to see that investigation privately, and that. But we can move on from that, and we'll get a trip out. We'll get something sorted, and Paddy's going to have that experience that he wants to have, and that. And I'm certainly not going to dampen it for him. I'm certainly going to give him that opportunity if he wants it. But anyway, I'm going to go. We'll see you very soon.